Got to.
And we are live. Fantasy
Yo.
Football Mafia. JoJo's here. Comeback Kid is back. Back live with you guys. I don't know where Baldy's at today. Maybe he'll join us later.
Hopefully.
But we got a long show today. You ready, Joe?
Yeah, we got a long show, everyone. Like we're gonna jam pack both of our episodes into one. And we got Thursday Night Football. We got a recap. We got our picks, our matchups, our pick'ems. I mean, our picks are also our Goodfellas jabronis. That's what I meant by picks and pick'ems too. So like we got a lot of stuff. So, but send us your questions. We're ready for them.
I mean, we could have a holiday show, but I'm pretty sure most of you guys are going to be busy. You're not going to be getting on. And plus, we'll probably be busy as well. So that's why we're jam packing everything today. We'll get you all the news. So you're going to have to ask your questions today unless you find us on Twitter or Instagram. You can ask us there throughout the week.
And I've been trying to be more active lately. I mean, if you've been following us, I know we picked up a couple new followers too. Like, yeah, I've been more active the last few days, so I'm gonna try to keep that up to end the season strong because it's playoff time, and we want to make sure we get the information out to you that you guys need to succeed and win. Unlike this guy, this guy. There it is, that guy.
It's confusing, isn't it?
I know. Like I'm thinking it's this way, but no, it's not. All good.
Actually, yeah. I did beat you 3 times in a row, including the consolation ladder.
But I will say, I'm not really paying attention to the leagues that I'm like not in playoffs in. But I set a lineup. Just to set a lineup.
I'm glad you set your lineup.
You know what? I have something to tell you, and I will take an L live on air. I thought in one league I was out of playoffs, but lo and behold, that playoffs started actually this week, not last week. So I had a chance to be in playoffs in a league that I thought I was already out in.
Wow.
So I wasn't paying attention to that one because I thought I was out. And lo and behold, I easily could have beat the person who was third.
You didn't set your lineup?
No, I did set a lineup. I just didn't pick up anybody because I was like,
oh, okay.
You know, like I had a horrible defense, and even if I picked up whatever was left over the defense I had active, would have been plus 5 points off the one I had rostered, and I lost by 3 or 4 points. So like it was just like a simple defense swap. I didn't have to do much.
What a bummer.
Yeah, it wasn't one of those like, oh, if I did this plus this plus this, I would have won. No, it was literally just, dude, switch your defense and you would have won.
That sucks. That's like worse than not making the playoffs.
It really is. It's kind of stung, and I literally did the full SMH emoji like literally when I saw it. I couldn't believe it. Oh well, live and learn.
Yep, exactly.
All right,
let's go into our recaps. Get some good news. I think we did pretty well this week.
You guys did. I had another rough week. I mean, Pick'ems and Goodfellas and Jabronis. Jabronis have been good for all of us. Let's be real. But Goodfellas and Pick'ems have just not been my forte this season. But we'll go through them anyway. Brian hit 2 of 4. He ended up picking a 4th because he wanted the Kirk Cousins KJ Osborne combo, which didn't work out. So those were the 2 that he missed on. But he definitely hit on Devonte Parker. Bias, but still, it's still a good hit because Devonte Parker was filling in. He got an increased workload. Sony Michel also had an asterisk, but we stuck with him because, and we put this out on Twitter too, like right an hour before the game. Like our gut tells us to play Sony. No one across the industry, no one across the Twitter sphere was really having like a read on it. But Fantasy Football Mafia helped a lot of people out because we had people following that tweet and thanked us even on that. So it was really cool to see that we helped some people out picking the right player in a time of crunch time there. That was pretty cool. So he hit on Sony Michel. Joseph, comeback kid, hit 2 of 3. Didn't hit on Mike Gesicki. Didn't have a good game. But he hit on Amon-Ra a big way.
He pulled through.
J-Row as well had a great bounce back week after you get the trash out of town in Urban Meyer. He has a decent game. I think he has an even better week this week. Sneak peek, I guess, foreshadowing. You'll hear that. And then, so those were your 2 or 3. And I only hit on Jalen Hurts. And obviously he had a great game on Tuesday night.
Yeah, he did. He had a great game.
Great game. And I missed up on Brevin Jordan. That was a miss. He had 0 points. 0 points. After having pretty 2 decent weeks, I believe the coach speak too much on that one. Nick Chubb didn't do what I expected him to do against the Raiders defense. But you know what? That's what sometimes happens.
He had a few good runs.
He had a couple good runs. He got in the end zone, but he didn't kill his projection. He just didn't have enough work, which is unfortunate because I expected him to kick our ass. But when you have Nick Mullins as your quarterback, I guess you're just not efficient at moving the ball, so the volume's not there.
They had a lot of drop passes, though. It wasn't totally Nick Mullins' fault.
No, I agree. It's just that the workload wasn't there. I think if he had another 5 carries and maybe another catch or two, he would have passed projection easy, but just didn't get there.
Definitely.
So the Goodfellas percentages are as follows. Brian, 15 of 30. Exactly. Again, 50%. He keeps getting that 50% mark, no matter what. If it's 2 of 4.
Not under, not over.
Yeah, exactly. He's just staying there, 50%. Yosef, you keep increasing. The last couple of weeks, I want to just pull this back up.
I'm a comeback kid. That's why they call me
that. Man, he's living up to his name. He was under 30%, and now he's at 36, so 12 of 33. So you keep rising. I stayed the same from last week. I was at 28%. I stayed the same because I only hit 1 of 3, 9 of 32. I know that's bad. I'm going to try to get winners these next 3 weeks, I hope. Jabronis, Brian went 2 of 2. Rashad Penny and Chubba Hubbard both were landmines that I hope you guys avoided. Yosef, you also shared Chubba Hubbard with Brian there, so you hit on that. Terry McLaurin only had 2 catches, 1 41-yard bomb, which kind of scared me a little bit, but he ended up only getting 2 catches. Russ Wilson also did it again. We'll have to talk about Russ Wilson in this show for sure going forward.
Hey, so I got 3 for 3.
You hit 3 for 3. You are now the new leader in Jabroni percentage. I'll get to that. I would have hit on Julio Jones, but he left early, so I did not count it. I'm trying to stay consistent with that, even though technically it was a dud because he wasn't doing anything. But
that counts.
Oh, you're going to count it for me? I appreciate that. So my percentage will go a little further up. So I appreciate you. Jonathan Taylor, ladies and gentlemen, I went on a limb and picked Jonathan Taylor as a dud or a jabroni.
And you were winning. Until
2 minutes to go in the game. 2 minutes. A 67-yard run. Unbelievable. This guy's unbelievable, man. This guy's unbelievable. That is a loss. He just passed projection on that run. 23 some odd ESPN points. His projection was 22. And Kyle Pitts, again, just barely gets over projection every time I pick him as a jabroni. Barely gets over. Barely. Just by fraction points.
I feel like you pick him a lot, and he always goes a little bit over.
He must be listening to the pod or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But, technically, I went 0 of 2, but Yosef's giving me 1 of 3. So my percentage, I wrote down 16 of 31, so I got to change that 17 of 31. So it's probably between 53 or 54%. I have 52 written down. But Brian is 17 of 30, 57%, and Yosef 19 of 32, 59%. So really, really strong show in there.
Well, we get more than half right, all of us.
Absolutely.
You got to listen to our jabronis for sure. I mean, we're hitting on good.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, we've been hitting on Goodfellas the past couple of weeks too. So, I mean, we're getting more accurate with these projections, definitely as the season goes along. And for playoff time, that's when you need it the most.
Yeah, and sometimes you might say jabronis, that doesn't help us too much as far as scoring them much, but it also prevents you from, or at least helps you with those roster decisions, ones that you're kind of neck and neck with. But if we're down on them and they ended up dudding for you, then we helped you avoid some mistakes in your lineup and roster management. So it helps helps the same. All right, real quick, pick'ems. The breakdown is Brian and Justin, one of our loyals over here, the Fantasy Football Mafia. They tied again with 13 apiece. Justin's been killing it.
Damn it, we lost.
Yeah, Justin and Brian been killing it lately. But Justin keeps tying with somebody, whoever it is. He keeps tying with somebody. So, but obviously, you and I are trying to gain ground on Brian. So we're trying to pick a little opposite of him here and there. So it's expected, but it's not working out. Joseph, you had 11, so you didn't fall too far behind. And I only had 9, so I didn't have that great of a week on that part. So the scoring is as follows. Brian is in a commanding 152 lead over Yosef and I. Yosef with 139, and I am with 135. So I am definitely out of it with 3 weeks to go. I will try to be very, very off the wall with these picks coming up.
I'm going total opposite this week. I'm going Lions beating the Cardinals.
Something, man. All right, so that's our recap.
All right, awesome. So let's go into waivers next. just to pick a few people that are on our waivers. One I want to mention just right now is that I've been boasting about the last 2 weeks is Amon-Ra St. Brown. If he has not picked up yet, you got to pick him up by this point. Hawkinson's out. Swift might be out another week. Amon-Ra is the main guy right now. That's how they're moving the ball down the field, as we've seen the past 3 weeks, over 12 targets or 12 targets or more in each game. So that's probably the number one receivers at least. For quarterback streaming, I'm just going to name. There's not much this week. Most of them already picked up. But I'll mention Jimmy Garoppolo versus Tennessee. Tennessee's pass defense isn't that great. Garoppolo only had 13 points against Atlanta's poor pass defense. So I don't know how much you can trust Garoppolo going into the playoffs.
Probably not as far as I can throw him, but yeah, if you really need one, he's serviceable enough, especially with Debo healthy now, and then the rise of George Kittle lately. So it makes sense.
Right. But like if you're in the playoffs, most likely you're not going to need a stream on these quarterbacks. So I don't think we should go too deep into quarterbacks, and unless someone needs a start or sit question. Like how about this question for you? Jalen Hurts or Taysom Hill?
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, you gotta go Hurts.
How
about Taysom Hill or Tom Brady?
Even with the replacement, I mean, we expect AB back, and he still has Gronk, so I'm still going Tom Brady.
Okay. I think that's pretty much good for quarterbacks, unless you want to mention anyone.
For quarterbacks, no. I mean, unless I still think that Justin Fields is serviceable. I mean, look at his game logs too, and he gets there to his projection, if not maybe a little bit more. He's going against who we got this week. I'm sorry, I had it written down here. Chicago goes against Seattle, so it's definitely doable again there. And obviously his running ability, he's getting everywhere from 40 to 60 rushing yards. If you want to average those out throughout the year, so there's good floor there. Plus, if he calls in the end zone on the ground, that helps you out. Anywhere from 200 to 250 passing yards, maybe another touchdown or two there. So yeah, I can see him getting there. Is just my point.
Yeah, he has the running floor, so that's always good. Running backs. I'll just
Justin Jackson,
one.
I think, is the top back. Just if he's not been picked up yet, because Eckler just got placed on COVID. And I have the snap count here: 42 snaps, 22 routes. In recent games with Justin Jackson. So I think that's definitely number one in my opinion. Do you have anybody else besides Ronald Jones? I think Ronald Jones might be. I don't know his percentage, but Ronald Jones obviously is another fill-in for Leonard Fournette. Those are probably my top two.
Yeah, Ronald Jones and Justin Jackson definitely top two. I would, if I had to pick one, I might pick Ronald Jones just for. I don't think he's going to be sharing the ball with anybody.
Well, here's my thing with Ronald Jones. Here's my thing. I want to hear what you think on this. Is because in the past, like you can go back to last year even. Remember, he was the guy to begin last season, right?
Yeah.
And also earlier this year, when he fumbled or made a mistake, they just sat him. Now, I know that Leonard Fournette is out. We know this. So he might have a little longer leash. But if he were to fumble or do something egregious that Tom Brady's like yelling in his ear about, I wouldn't be shocked if we see Keyshawn Vaughn play like a series or two right after the bat and just see maybe he has juice. And then
normally I would
see the field again. Or I know Le'Veon Bell is a corpse. We all know this. Like I wouldn't be picking up Le'Veon Bell.
No.
I mean, I did in a dynasty league just because it's so deep, and I like anybody has a pulse you should roster. Yeah, but outside of that, you don't roster him for playoffs. I would say he gets another series too. I'm just worried about Ronald Jones' ball security.
Yeah, that's always concerning. But Keyshawn Vaughn played so bad last week. I don't think they'll even try to put him in too much. And I think the reason they got Bell is because they really need a pass catcher. Ronald Jones is not that great at pass catching. Vaughn dropped a few balls. So, I mean, we'll see. I still trust Jones a little bit more. I mean, Justin Jackson is great too, but he's going to probably is Roundtree out for the season?
He was a healthy scratch last game.
They might bring him in.
I wonder what his stats will be. I'm sure they're going to add him, at least activate him because they need the depth. Josh Kelly also has some ball security issues. Roundtree is a big bruiser. Can use him in goal line, short yardage situations. What's up, MJ Jr.?
What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Who's winning AFC South and AFC North?
Good question. AFC South. Okay, we got that's the Indy, right? That's the Indy.
I don't know. I think so.
It is Indy. Indy, Jacksonville, Texans, and Tennessee. I say Tennessee's winning that one, man.
No,
I say Tennessee.
Colts. Colts are on fire.
I honestly, look, to be honest, I wouldn't either one of those. Those are my top two for sure because the rushing of Jonathan Taylor. But without Derrick Henry and what Tennessee's been able to do is pretty alarming and pretty shocking. And I
mean, they've been slipping lately.
Did they win?
I think they might lose against the Niners.
No, they lost on that fourth down, I think, right? That stop against Pittsburgh.
It was close. But I'm going Colts for AFC South.
I feel you. The other one on the north side, I'm gonna say the Bengals. I'm getting behind the Bengals. I really am. That's the Bengals, Browns, Steelers, and Ravens. Yeah,
I'll agree with you there.
Yeah,
always. Joey, nothing but facts.
I try, man. I try.
This guy, he knows you. All right, man. Let's get into we mentioned the top running backs, I think both of our charts. But one I did want to mention kind of under the radar is Craig Reynolds, also another Lions player. I don't know what's up with these Lions players. Those injuries really brought some new players into the fold. He started last week. He didn't get a touchdown, but he had 112 yards, 26 carries, so lots of volume. If Swift and Williams are out once again, this is a guy you must look at just for volume, because he's going to get the volume, and hopefully he can score a touchdown for you this week as well. So those are three guys worth mentioning.
I mean,
of course we can help.
What's it called? Schefter was on him since last week, and he started him in he was on air and said he was starting him three playoff matchups, so he was ahead of the game on him.
For sure.
But I will say I think Swift went to questionable tag, and they expect him to be activated this week to return to practice. So with that being said, I will reserve my Craig Reynolds hype and toutage until like maybe tomorrow, because I don't even think he practiced today. I didn't even look at practice reports today. I apologize, but I did notice that Swift was on Q tag, so I knew that, and I heard the report that they were expecting him to practice this week. So we'll reserve. But I do like Craig Reynolds from Kutztown, Pennsylvania.
Oh. You know that.
I do, man. I this is my shit. I'm sorry. This is what I do.
The facts. Who's a QB must start but a decent value? Okay, for DFS, someone like Jimmy G, maybe. Yeah, we were mentioning Jimmy G. It's a good pass defense he's playing. It's pretty cheap, but I'd have to take a look. Like, how much is Taysom Hill on DFS?
Well, I mean, if you're looking at Jimmy G, are you looking just for a showdown slate? Because obviously, unless you're playing Thursday through Monday, are you trying to play a Thursday through Monday slate for a classic roster build, or are you just looking at showdown, buddy? Because if it's showdown, I would maybe just to get different. I don't think he's going to be higher ownership, so you can probably try to be 5,000 range. Man. I haven't looked at prices too much. Hold on a second. I'll pull it up. I actually did make a cash lineup off. I do first look every week, so I'll tell you what I have for first look. Maybe this will help you out. I do have a first look lineup.
I have a pretty cheap one that it's kind of yucky once you mention it, but really cheap. Jared Goff versus Atlanta. 31st worst pass defense. Goff been looking a lot better, especially last week.
For tournaments, honestly, for tournaments, I wouldn't. I mean, if you want to really go that galaxy brain, you can make it happen. But I thought he entered COVID protocol.
I think that was last week, wasn't it? Is he questionable?
No,
he's out.
He tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday or 2 days ago. Yeah,
that's gonna be tough.
Yeah, so I would say the lowest right now. My cash game quarterback is Kirk Cousins, and I'm probably going to come off that. But I will have for 5,000 range. You can actually go Matt Ryan. So, I mean, against the Detroit Lions too, just the opposite on that. Ben Roethlisberger will throw, but Casey's defense is getting better. Outside of that, man, Joe Burrow is 5,900.
That's
Against Baltimore's weak secondary. I would say Joe Burrow is probably my favorite sub 6K quarterback on DK. So hopefully that helps you.
I start Miles Sanders or Barkley. I go Sanders. I like Sanders this week versus New York Giants.
Honestly, Miles Sanders, they've been actually giving him the rock now.
Yeah, and he's looking good. And the Giants can't move the ball on offense, so that's scary.
Try to look at the matchup here. Hold on one sec. We got Philly against the Giants. Yeah, -10 favorites, and they're home. So here's the thing. When you're in home favorite, I don't even know what kind of passing work he got recently, but you're a home favorite. You're getting the rock. You're getting expected of anywhere from 20 touches or so. Yeah, he's definitely in play. I'm gonna go with Miles Sanders. Yeah. Wow. Dolphins were 1-7, now 7-7. Beware.
Who?
Dolphins?
Wow.
No Jared Goff now. Trust no Jags. Why not Josh Allen? Of course, Josh Allen's in play. I mean, I just thought you were looking for a cheap quarterback. I was looking at a cheap quarterback there.
Yeah. Actually, is Tom Brady cheaper? Because Tom Brady, he might be a little bit cheaper because of the Panthers matchup. And I still trust Tom Brady.
He's at 7,400 on DK. He's the third highest ranked quarterback. Josh Allen's the second highest priced quarterback. Yeah. But honestly, probably the safest quarterback, regardless of price, is probably Herbert or Stafford this week. I would say 7,200 for Herbert and 67 for Stafford. Stafford's probably a bargain price right now, and Stafford stacks. I mean, if you match them up right, you've probably been printing all year.
Exactly. It's you never know. Who's their must-start receivers?
DKs. Okay, what?
Well, actually, I was going to mention Antonio Brown, who's playing, because
again,
somebody has to lean on somebody.
100%.
It'd be Gronk for sure, but Brown's going to be the receiver getting most of the work. I mean, if he plays, I could see massive amounts of volume.
I agree. Yeah, it's definitely a volume play. I'm just worried about efficiency. He hasn't played in 2 months, but they need him. They need him bad. I would probably want to wait till roster ownership because if he is a popular play, I won't mind playing a Gronk, Tyler Johnson double stack and bring it back with someone else from the other side. Damn, who is on that team that actually has a pulse right now? I mean, it would probably be Robbie Anderson, because Robbie Anderson's been getting actually a lot more looks from Cam Newton. In all honesty, it's ugly, but that would be my main stack if I wanted to go Brady. It's so ugly.
Yeah, it's pretty ugly.
It's pretty ugly.
It's hard to trust Robbie with Cam's on.
Yeah, Renfro's awesome. He has a safe floor. Obviously, he didn't have that great of a game against Cleveland this week. It wasn't his most recent weeks, but he's definitely the clear number one option. But pay attention to practice reports this week. Waller is day to day now. 2 weeks ago he was weeks away. Last week he was week to week. Basasha is getting closer and closer. He just has small pain as he cuts. I was watching press conferences. So that's the status there.
All right. Thanks,
Andrew. I appreciate it, man.
We just wanted to entertain you, man.
Exactly. Appreciate you coming, man. All right, let's keep going.
I think we touched on running backs. Unless anybody else you want to mention, we mentioned Reynolds, Jones, Jackson. I know Mixon was hurt. Do you know the last?
Samaje Perine is in play if Mixon. He has a sprained ankle, so at least that's what I thought he was rolled up on. So Samaje Perine, he did pretty well in work earlier this year. In a playoff matchup, I hope you have a better option to go with. But if you were able to roster him, you got to put your faith in him at some point. So he did pretty good. He goes against Balti this week, which is a tough divisional matchup.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup. Probably going to be low scoring.
Yeah. Trying to think of anybody else.
Burkhead is our top guy on our waivers. Well, most of them are gone. But what did he get last week? 16 carries. He didn't do much.
Two questions for running
pure
back.
Volume. Yeah, it's just a pure volume play, and you're in the playoffs. and you just lost like a mix-in, and you couldn't get P. Ryan. I guess just for volume purposes, you can pick up a Burkhead. No one else. Yeah, what was your question?
D. Hendo. Going forward, I mean, I put this out on Twitter. You know, my gut tells me to pick Sony on last night's game, but going forward, so the last 3 weeks now, Sony's been carrying the rock and getting a lot of the work.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think Sony's going to take the job away? There is some people that I follow who are very, very entrenched in the industry and who have said that Sony is past D. Hendo. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think he's past him.
You've been saying this all season, so you've been consistent. I'll give you that.
But like, I think it's
I'm
just
glad because I have Hendo, but I think he did look very good. Sony.
He did. He did.
He looked better.
Do you think that if like Hendo practices all week, he gets his conditioning back up? Do you think he retains starting running back one value or running back one in the offense?
Man. That's tough. For now, I would say no. I would say no. But and like you said, you were talking about it on Messenger. You know, McVay doesn't really do committee, and we saw that he gave the bulk to Sony. So it's one or the other. I say another week at least of Sony, and then you might be right. But
I can see it, but you know what? I relate this offense to, and it's a divisional foe of the Rams. It's the Niners. You know, like Shanahan doesn't do running back by committee either. And you've heard it ad nauseam. Like everybody who follows fantasy football, anybody who follows football, it's a copycat league. Like there's not too many teams that do. I mean, I guess it's starting to get more running back by committee, but the majority not. If a team has a true bell cow, they're going to ride them. Jonathan Taylor, Eli Mitchell, Najee. Like, you know, there's a lot of teams that if they have a bell cow, they're going to ride them. So I will say and go on a limb, if he practices the entire week, I expect D. Hendo to go back to RB1.
Okay. Bold take. I'm clipping this.
It is a bold take. This is also Wednesday. I will be on Twitter and changing my tune if I get a different read on it. So, but that's how I feel about it.
I like it. Let's go on to receivers for everyone else to mention. The top guy on our waivers, according to projection for ESPN, is Robbie Anderson, which you were just alluding to.
Yeah.
Risky, but he is getting more targets. Not anything too exciting to mention. I don't know who would, the Hopkins news, if there's like a Kirk or an AJ Green or maybe even Rondale Moore is worth picking up right now. What do you think?
I mean, you can pick him up, but you're not going to start him at all. I mean, I think for any of those guys that have a pulse, so to speak, like you might you pick them up to play defense on some other guy that like needs a position like that, and you're just going to block them so they don't have them and a chance to beat you, because a guy like Rondale Moore or Robbie Anderson can get over the top of you and get there in one play, and that can just be a shot in the arm that just loses you the week. So
yeah, true that.
That's where I would go with those kind of pickups, is just a defensive play.
And then for tight end, I did want to mention one guy. Dan Arnold's coming back from the IR, or he's designated to return. So I think that's interesting. If he lost Hawkinson, fireproof, looks like he might be out again. So, or be out this week, the concussion. So a guy like Darnold was getting massive amounts of targets before he went out. He's actually, doing great. He's like a top 5 tight end. So look for him on as far as tight end waivers. Anybody else worth eyeing that you see
for tight ends? In one of my playoff leagues, I saw Noah Fant on waivers. So
people have been dropping him. He's not doing great at that.
Yeah, and Albert O, I think in that Denver offense with Drew Lock, that kid's a gunslinger. Not accurate by any means, but that kid's a gunslinger, and I think he can make anyone viable just because that kid is not scared of any throw to make. So
he really isn't.
He really is not.
Good or bad thing, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and he's going against the Raiders this week, divisional matchup, but I expect them to keep it on the ground between MG3 and Javonte.
For sure.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I just got to keep an eye on that. And that's pretty much for waivers. All we have for you. I mean, The defense streamer, Seahawks against Chicago, probably be my pick.
Boom, boom, kick of the week.
Kicker of the week goes to Joey. He loves doing the kicker of the week. Favorite.
Let's see. This week we got. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with my boy, man, Daniel Cash Money Carlson.
Ooh,
I'm gonna go with my boy.
He's been consistent.
He has been consistent. He was strong this past week. He's back at home, kicking indoors, going against a divisional opponent. So like tight matchup because Denver's got a decent secondary to keep the passing game of the Raiders at bay. Don't have a great running attack. So if they just get in field goal range, I think this could be at least a 3-attempt game for Daniel Carlson. And he sent me a cameo because my buddy did that for me as a gift, which I appreciated. So that was pretty cool. Dope. So I'm gonna ride that good kicker juju from.
He said your name, maybe?
Yeah, dude. I'll send it to you and Brian. It was awesome. It was like 47 seconds long. Like the guy put everything into it.
Wow, that's awesome.
It was pretty cool. So
really
give a shout out to my dad too, who passed along earlier this year. So it was pretty cool, man.
Wow, that is awesome, man. It was a great experience.
Probably one of the better gifts I've had like in the past like 10 years. So
how can you beat that?
Yeah, it was awesome. Cool. So yeah, he's my kicker of the week.
We're gonna go into the next segment, but let's get into MJ's questions. Oh man, I got a question. Who's getting that 7th seed NFC wildcard? Oh man, you're gonna hit us with that.
Oh dude, I'll pull it up. I can pull that up pretty quick.
That's
NFL
a tough one.
Standing.
And I would love to say the Panthers, but
let's see.
I'd love to say Panthers, but they're not getting it.
Right,
I think 49ers have a good chance. 49ers have a good chance. That might be my pick.
All right, so let's just go with the wild card teams. So 5, 6, and 7 right now are Rams, Niners, and Vikings. 8, 9, and 10 is Eagles, Saints, and Washington. Okay, that's what I'll go as far as. I'm not going to go towards Atlanta and Carolina. I'm sorry. I just don't feel like they have enough to do it. Well, I will say the 7th and final spot. Shoot, man. Whew. Eagles have a tough road because they have 3 straight divisional opponents. Same with Washington. They play each other. Damn. I kind of want to say that the Rams, Niners, and Vikings should hold on to it.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. I think those are the best teams.
They really are, yeah. But I will say, like, my heart wants Philly to go there. Like, if I had to choose a dark horse team to get that 7th spot, it would be Philly. They're playing well enough of those bottom tier teams, like the 8, 9, 10, 11 teams to get there.
Yeah. But when I look at the Vikings, I think they're much better than their record. They've gotten close lots of games. Barely lost.
Yeah. The Vikings got the Packers and Rams and Packers. Yeah. I mean, that's the reason why I think the Eagles can do it. But the Eagles got divisional opponents too. They got Dallas, they got Washington, they got Giants this week. Like they know each other well. So that's why the Eagles can falter as well. Saints, they just beat the freaking Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who do they have to end the year? Let's see them because they possibly can do it too. For some
they're what, 6 and 7 or 7 and 7?
7 and 7 right now. They got they got the Dolphins and Panthers and Falcons. They have the easiest schedule to get there.
They could definitely do it.
Yeah, Saints got the easy. Look, there you go. It says Saints got the easiest schedule. There you go. You're right. Absolutely right. But if this year has taught us anything, there's no such thing as a layup.
Definitely, man. The Lions being the Cardinals, anybody can lose. This league is crazy.
Yep.
I love it this year. You heard it from Joe Star Carlson. Yep, that's it. Got him in there. Pick him up. He's the first waiver pickup.
All right. So matchups, I think, is next. What we got?
Yeah. Matchups.
All right. You want me to pull up Underdog?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's do this. Chrome tab. Oh, why hello.
Cards or Rams, who wins NFC West? Last question. Ooh. I'm going Rams. I'm going for the hot team right now, and the other team is ice cold.
Well, let me look at the thing.
I mean, once you lose against the Lions, that's it, man. You lost your credibility. credibility.
Hold a second. Let's
Now
go
they gotta
back.
trust him.
Who do they got? Who the Rams got left? Let's see.
Well, who we say just plays them?
Vikings play Vikings, Ravens, and Niners. That's they're decent opponents. They're all pretty damn solid. And let's see who Cards got. Cards have Colts, Cowboys, and Seahawks. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Rams.
Yeah, I'm on Rams. Yeah.
You want Rams? Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rams. They're just playing better, and yeah. All right. Oh, here we go. I wanted to go over this too because I hit them back-to-back nights. These were also main sweats, dude. If you really look at these were some sweats. I will say. That Callaway. Actually, no, Callaway smashed. Okay, this one actually wasn't a sweat. That was actually pretty cakewalk there. This one, however, or was it 59.5? He got 60 rushing yards.
Wow.
Mooney crushed. Dalvin Cook, 89 rush yards. He had to get under 92.5. So that one was a little bit of a sweat right there. But yeah, back-to-back nights. That was pretty nice.
I do have been glued to that TV sweating.
I was a little bit. I will say that. Let me stop share that one because I only did tab wise. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'll go back to get the other tab. But I did want to throw that out there because I'm on a little streak with underdog. I'm not gonna lie. Did lose a little bit.
Looks like it, man. I saw a peek of that right there.
All right. Anyway, so we might make a card here because I've been feeling pretty strong about these lately, but we'll just kind of wing it and go from here. All right, so Thursday Night Football's first. Go ahead, man. Tell us your plays for season long first for playoffs, and then if you want to touch on props, go ahead.
There's no Titans.
I'll scroll down a little bit.
All
you gotta do is ask, Joseph. All you gotta do is ask, man. Come on.
Well, I kind of asked subliminally.
Okay, so we just got Tannehill, Foreman, and Hilliard, really. And then that's pretty much everybody on San Francisco.
Yeah. Like I was stating earlier, Titans' run defense has been a lot better lately. So Jeff Wilson, he's going to need a touchdown. So the 62 yards, I would take the under. But he could get a touchdown, so I would still start him in fantasy leagues and season long. Look, we got Mitchell might be coming back. You got to keep an eye out for that. But the game is tomorrow, so I'm expecting Wilson to be starter. Debo, of course, must start. Brandon Ayuk, he had a tough week last week. I was expecting a lot more from him. I think he only had one catch for 50 yards or something. He had like a large game, but that was it. So I don't know if you can really trust him for the playoffs. It's going to be tough, but if you have like a starter sit question, that's probably one you want to look at or ask. Let me bring one up. Let's ask you, Brandon Ayuk or who's on the other side? AJ Brown if he starts.
Huh.
He's been
if AJ Brown starts, I'll play AJ Brown over Ayuk, which is probably shocking, but Ayuk is so inconsistent, which is probably not saying much about AJ Brown either. But like I'm kind of been since where I drafted Ayuk. I mean I'm pretty much out on him. Like if he burns me, he burns me. But I'm willing to go out on limb.
You're out. He burns you too many times.
Hell yeah! Like he has so much talent, and he hasn't put it all together yet. I hope his third year is a bounce back year.
Yeah. Speaking of burnouts, Ryan Tannehill probably killed my whole season because I drafted him. He's been the biggest choke to me. I thought he was going to be great this year. He was one of my good fellas in the beginning of the year. I touted for him, and he let me down.
Yeah, we got to do a recap at the end of the year, man. I can't wait to do it. To go roll back the covers and see what we did right and what we did wrong.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Anything on the run game on Tennessee?
I like Dante Foreman. I really do. And 49ers run defense ain't that great, so Dante Foreman can get the volume he had last week, and he looks good coming off that. What he had a terrible injury. He came
He
back.
did get rolled up on this game though, so you gotta monitor his status.
Yeah,
I
he got
gotta,
water for sure.
I gotta see what he's up to now.
But I like the run game.
He's cleared. There's no tag on him now. There's no tag on him, so he's clear.
Yeah. He's gonna get some volume, and I actually do like him. And the line is kind of tough, but I'd probably still, if I had a pick, I'd go over.
Yeah, I like that one too, actually. It's 51.5. He got 22 carries last week, and if he's fully healthy, I like over 51.5. So I'm just going to bookmark that one for now. All right. Cleveland and Green Bay. Obviously, there's still so much uncertainty with Cleveland, so that's probably why the underdog doesn't have a lot of props for him, but we'll still talk about it anyway. You are still starting Nick Chubb. I wouldn't trust any pass catching options for playoff week for anything outside of DFS. Like, you're not doing anything on Cleveland side except for Nick Chubb for playoff matchups for season long. Green Bay side, it's the usuals. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, MVS, is on COVID. So Lazard, and I expect, let's see, who is left? Equanimous St. Brown, possibly Amari Rogers.
Is NVS not playing?
I think he got tested positive for COVID.
Oh, damn.
I think. Let's double check that one too.
Well, if he's out, I mean, Lazard is
definitely moved up. Yeah, but I'm talking about the third option because Cobb was on IR. I'm thinking Equanimous St. Brown takes a little bit of a leap and gets some snaps.
Possible.
Yeah, and Marquette and MBS is out right now, so
okay.
I would say the third guy. I don't think you're going to start him or play him, but just throwing it out there, just for people to know. But I also like AJ Dillon in this matchup more than I like Aaron Jones.
So you're taking the Dillon side on this one.
As of today,
it's tough to choose. I mean, but yeah, people probably have that question to know. And they probably have both players, so it's good to pick one every week that we think is going to be good. So are you going to go with Dillon? I think so too.
Okay.
But on the Colts Arizona side, obviously Jonathan Taylor, monster, starting him. Wentz is a question mark, but it's playoff time. You're probably not looking Wentz's way. Michael Pittman, that's a tough one. Because he started the year out great. He was seeing targets in the beginning of the Patriots game, but then they just started running it. It kind of went away, and then he got into altercation. So it was tough for those who started him last week. And you're probably questioning yourself if you should start him the rest of the week, the rest of the year, or this game in particular. So we should probably set up a starter sit question with Michael Pittman. So how about we'll bring Ayuk back and pair these two.
Pittman and Ayuk?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Pittman. I'm going Pittman all day on that one.
Yeah, I go Pittman as well.
I think he's heated. I just like the psyche of a player. Like, fantasy football is also an art. It's like feel thing. Right. I mean, you can look at the numbers, you look at the matchup, but then again, there's also just like, dude,
sometimes there's emotion.
I was ejected from that game. I got something to prove, and I also haven't gotten it going in a few weeks. So feed me. That's just where I'm going with it. One of these weeks, Jonathan Taylor is not going to touch it, and I'm usually a week early. It could be against Arizona. Arizona's decent enough to stop the run. Not to say that stop the yardage, but more along the lines of just like maybe he not getting in the end zone. Like, I think it would be on their bulletin board to say like this guy is not going to continue a streak on us, kind of thing.
Really, and
I don't know. I'm thinking outside the box here. Jonathan Taylor's still starting, of course. There's no question about it.
Oh, of course. One more for Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman or Darnell Mooney.
Chicago's got Seattle. Their corners are decent. Mooney doesn't play out of the slot. So, I mean, if he was in the slot, I'd probably like it more after what Kupp did and other slot receivers did to Seattle. I'm going to say Pittman over Mooney by a slight edge.
Nice. You're really confident in that Pittman move.
Yeah. But what's his prop? I'm going to say, what's his prop? I might have to go over on it, but 61.5 is fair.
That's tough.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, on the Cardinals side, I think that the question is Connor and Edmonds. What's happening with them? I think it's back to the same rotation. And Colts' run defense is pretty good, but most likely if you have one of them, you're going to be starting them. But who would you start if you had both?
I mean, I'm partial to Edmonds because it's a PPR league, and I think just because Connor needs consistent carries, and in my opinion, to really get going. And I think that putting him back in the lineup kind of messed up his mojo a little bit. But it doesn't affect him when it's short yardage because Connor just finds the end zone, but it doesn't require consistent carries. I mean, he's just the short yardage back. While Connor can still get in the end zone, I just think as far as volume wise, as Edmonds getting his legs back underneath him, I'm going to lean Edmonds on it. What was their share this past week? Like who outscored who?
I think Connor might have outscored him by a little bit.
Edmonds only had 5.3. Connor had 9.0. So yeah, Connor did edge him out, but Connor also came up a little gimpy at the end of the game. Remember, he was like laying flat on the ground at the end of the game.
Was that this recent game?
I believe so.
Do that again? Because I thought that was last
one. Oh no, that was the Rams, wasn't it? Was that the Rams game? Was that the Rams game?
Yeah, it was. Yep.
That was prime time? Yeah, it was prime time, right?
Yeah, it was prime time.
Well,
and this week was the Lions game. He was
they were getting their ass kicked too, right? So
yeah, but speaking of like Kyle Murray, he didn't play well at all, but you got to start him if you have him.
Well, you're going to start James Conner, but if you had both of them, I think you're still going to lead Conner, but I'm not shocked if Edmonds one outscores him, but two it limits Connor's upside.
Right.
It was only 8 carries to 6 carries in Connor's favor, so like they're cut. That's like pretty much like a 55-45 split right now. So
all right, let's get into the next one.
Unfortunately, there's nowhere to go down here, so they only did Thursday and Saturday games.
Oh, wow.
So I'm sorry about that, guys. So I will stop sharing, and I have the matchups on my paper. We'll exit out of that, and we'll just go from here. We'll go rapid fire. The next game is pretty ugly. Detroit at Atlanta. Who are you starting in playoffs if you have anybody?
Starting the starting running back for the Lions. I think it's a good play.
Whoever that might be.
St. Brown. I've been tooting St. Brown. I think he's worth a flex option or even our wide receiver 2, especially if Swift is out again. That ups his value. And you say the Atlanta side. Who you got?
Atlanta side. I mean, I'm worried about Arthur Smith kind of limiting vets. There was a radio show that said that he is trying to see what he has as far as young guys. So which it kind of explains CPAT's really recent poor performance. The only guy that I feel confident in right now is Kyle Pitts. And that's not saying much because he kind of just gets there.
Your ultimate jabroni?
Ultimate jabroni, but at the same time, like he is at least serviceable. Like, and he's a young guy. So if Arthur Smith is trying to feature young guys, he will be the number 1 featured option. Which kind of sucks for CPAT owners. So I'm just saying manage expectations. I wouldn't expect splash weeks, but Detroit is a bad team, but they've been scrappy all year. Obviously, they just beat a.
They're going to play hard, that's for sure.
Yeah, they beat a 10-3 team. Going into last week. So I go 1A Kyle Pitts, 1B CPAT, and that's it. Oh, Russell Gage. I forgot about Russell Gage. He is startable. Russell Gage is startable. Flex option.
Targets.
There you go. Next one. Baltimore and Cincy.
Baltimore, Cincy. The Bengals side. You mentioned it. Joe Burrow, maybe a streaming option or a DFS play. He's a good price right now, $5,900, I think he said. Joe Mixon, obviously you started him, but you got to watch out for the injury. And then the Bengals receivers, I think Joey's high on Jamar Chase, so he's definitely starting. T. Higgins, I think he's the question. But to match with the other side, if you're T. Higgins or I guess you start Marquis Brown over T. Higgins for sure. But a T. Higgins or Devonte Smith.
Well, T. Higgins or Devonte Smith. Philly's got New York.
Okay. That's tough.
I love Devonte, but if I'm going to stick with my gut call here, since I think it's a Jamar week, I'm going to go Devonte on that one.
Yeah, I'd leave
So,
Devonte.
yeah. But
then,
I want to bring something else up because I just saw some of these other stats here about your Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's getting a Cooper Kupp-esque 33% target share over the last 3 games. So if you're getting a 33% target share, you're definitely rosterable. I would say even above a flex, maybe even a wide receiver 2-3 option. So for this week, especially going against Atlanta, and since he's playing the slot, he's going to avoid AJ Terrell on Atlanta. AJ Terrell has been actually very, very good for Atlanta on the outside, so he's going to avoid him, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I would say,
St. Brown, my good fella again.
Yeah, he's on a plus matchup there. And then I'm actually going to change my tune on AJ Dillon a little bit. The snap counts for the last 2 weeks: 68 snaps compared to AJ Dillon's 58 snaps. The routes are pretty similar, but 29 routes for AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones, and only 23 routes for AJ Dillon. Aaron Jones 29 routes, AJ Dillon 23. But they both have 23 touches, so each. But as far as snaps and opportunity, Aaron Jones.
I like it.
There you go, man. Oh, next one or Balti? Go ahead. What do you like on Balti?
The Balti side, the running backs stay away. Got to watch out for Lamar Jackson. Is he playing? I haven't heard anything yet. I think he's still questionable. And then Marquis Brown, I like. I think you have to start him. He's just a big play guy. He can, especially for the playoffs, I feel like you really need that. So one guy who could just get one play and get you 10 points. But that's about it on the Ravens side. Oh, Mark Andrews, of course. You're starting Mark Andrews season long. I think he's number 1 past Kelsey, even with that big performance from Kelsey.
He passed him.
So, yeah, like we were talking about earlier, if you would have picked Kelsey in the first going back, and I said no, I'd rather get Andrews in the 5th. That was a way better value. So, but yeah, either way, that's pretty much it for this game. That's how I started.
Landmines of like Rashad Bateman having 2 weeks ago went like 7 for 110 or 100 some odd yards, and then he has a complete dud this past week. And then you got Marquis Brown, who's kind of battling injury recently, so he's not healthy. He's not right. But Snoop, if you guys don't know who Snoop is Tyler Huntley. The kid is making a case for payday or at least a boost in salary for him from whatever team, or if he sticks behind Lamar. But if Lamar is still not playing, Snoop is still out there for some reason, I mean, you better swoop him up. He's more than helpful.
Snooper loop.
Yeah.
That pretty much covers that, man.
Yeah, that covers that one. Let's go Rams and Minnesota.
Rams, Minnesota.
Anybody on the Rams side? Who are you not going to start? Let's put it that way. Who are you not going to start? Because there's so many people on both sides. Who are you not going to start?
I think the question is the running backs for the Rams.
I alluded to it earlier. I prefer, and if he's practicing all week, I prefer D-Hend over Sony. But again, I'll be updated on practice reports, and I'll be tweeting that out if Sony's going to be the guy.
Yeah, we got to keep updated on that. And then I think the Rams wide receivers are all pretty good plays,
especially against the Minnesota.
Yeah, I think Beckham will bounce back. He had like one reception last week, which was odd, but just Kupp was just killing it. That's the thing with this team. Kupp hogs so many targets, and like these guys can do so much more. But Kupp's always open, so why would you not throw to him?
Do you think that with Kupp's record-setting pace, that McVay and Stafford just want him to get that record for both?
Yeah, I can see McVay as this type of person.
It could limit, obviously, the opportunities for the other two guys. Kupp is on pace, for people that don't know, is 148 catches and 1973 yards in a 17-game season, of course. So it's a little skewed, if you will. But he's on pace to almost tie the Michael Thomas 149 catches and surpass the 1964-yard mark by Calvin Johnson. He can literally set 2 records by one player this year, which would be pretty cool.
The way they're hyper-targeting him, I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
But what's on the other side? Who do we have on the other side?
Minnesota. Only people I wouldn't start. If Thielen's not playing, I'm not high on KJ Osborne. and I'm not high on anybody else as far as receiving core. I'm not high on Tyler Conklin. I think you can find another serviceable tight end. If Higbee's back, MJ, if Higbee's back,
that's
possible, but I'd still like Hunter Henry more just because Mac Jones, that's like his security blanket in the red zone.
Yeah, I agree. I think Hunter Henry can get a touchdown any time in the game.
Yeah. Taysom Hill or Russ? That's a good question right there. I hope you don't have to make that decision.
I'm going Hill. I can't trust Russ. Can't trust Russ.
Yeah, I would say
at least Hill has a floor.
Hill does have a floor. This past week, when I was watching the Rams game, there were some shots that Russ just barely missed. And I feel like he's going to connect on at least one or two of these to end the year, like deep shots, which can get him going. And I know Taysom. I'm still going to lean Taysom. I do want to see Russ do it before touting him. So I agree with you.
Yeah, you gotta wait and see with that.
Yes, I say yes to this question. If Eckler is out, yes.
Well, who's the other waiver? Ronald Jones. Who would you rather start?
Ronald Jones. Just because it's Tom Brady. But I will say, like, I wouldn't be shocked to say that like Ronald Jones might not be in pass downs. Like that could be Keshawn Vaughn's role. Or Lev Bell. I don't know, but like I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't keep staying on.
Yeah, he's not really. I mean, we thought that with Fournette, and he was getting passing work.
Fournette has great hands. Like Ronald Jones doesn't. He can catch passes, like he can, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's not in the game for third down situations or 2-minute drill or 4-minute clock. Yeah. Who won the picks? It was Justin. Oh, this is Justin. I thought it was MJ.
Their pictures.
Oh shoot! Like it got a copy too. Justin, you tied with Brian, 13.
MJ's upset about that.
Indeed.
Chargers played the Texans, which is a great match.
Oh yeah, Herbert. Yeah, we went to that a little bit. Okay, let's keep moving here.
We're here to help.
Right. Buffalo at New England.
Oh man, I'll take the Buffalo side, I guess.
Okay.
The running backs, it's like a sticky situation, but I think the most one you could trust right now is Singletary, in the most volume. So if you want to start one, that's the one. Josh Allen, obviously, you're starting him. It might be a little tough matchup, but you got to play. You got to play Josh Allen. You're in the playoffs.
Gabe Davis, dude, that guy. Oh my goodness!
Actually, I still like him. I know it's a tough matchup, but I still like Gabe Davis in this matchup.
100%,
I think more attention is going to be on Diggs. I don't think the Patriots are going to want to focus on a young player. Gabe Davis is going to take the number one option. That's without Cole Beasley there. I mean, Diggs is definitely.
Or Manny Sanders. I mean, he still might be
Manny
out.
Sanders out there. I mean, who are they going to focus on? Yeah.
63 of 70 snaps, 54 out wide, 9 in the slot, 38 routes on 42 dropbacks, 7 targets for 20% target share, 5 catches for 85 yards, 2 touchdowns. That is just extreme goodness for fantasy football.
Wow.
The kid is good. I had him on a lot of best ball teams. So my best ball team starting to take a late season jolt up the leaderboard, but I don't think it's going to be enough to cash out. But I was very high on him. Gage versus Detroit or Kirk versus Colts? I like that question right there.
That's a good question.
I'm going Gage.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I'm going Gage.
Gage.
You gotta chase those targets. I guess a bad matchup.
Yeah, plus like we've been saying it all year too, right? Like Cardinals, even though Nuke is out, like they still have Ertz, they still have AJ Green, they still have Rondale Moore, and they can still pass out of the backfield. So it's like there's so many other mouths to feed. Whereas like kind of siloed in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's definitely right. Hawks, I know they're playing against Chicago. Who are the Finns playing?
Finns are playing New Orleans. So you got the Taysom. That's why I can see why Justin would want to play Dolphins.
Yeah.
Taysom turns the ball over. Hawks got Chicago.
But I'm going Hawks.
No, I'm gonna go with the Finns because here's the thing. The Bears are more run heavy. which limit the opportunity to get on the passer. Yes, in recent weeks, Justin Fields has dropped the ball, put the ball on the ground. He hasn't turned the ball over in the past too often lately. It's been just because of fumbles, but that's an easier fix. I think it's more as far as pressure. I like the Miami defense to create more pressure to cause more picks and turnovers.
All right, put it on the paper.
Okay, you want to do that? Let's do that one. I like that one.
Oh, we didn't announce our paper bets from last week.
I don't even think we had any. I didn't have any written down.
Oh, really?
No, I don't. I don't have any written down.
Everybody needs our help.
All right, so
okay, let's look this up for you. I get the latest.
Seahawks DST versus Dolphins, Miami.
Yeah.
DST. I'll put Yosef. Me. Okay, cool. I like that one. All right. Help Hawks fans defense. We went Gage on that one, so I think that's what kid. I need your advice. Status. All right, I'm lost. You would organize this. I'm lost.
Just this one on the screen. That's where we're at.
Okay. Oh, okay, cool. Status on Thielen and DJM. Who's DJM?
Donovan.
No, it's not DPJ. Not DPJ. Oh my God, who's DJM?
You're the nickname guy.
I never heard of it. DJM. Is that a DJ doing raves and stuff, or who's this?
Oh no, we gotta figure it out. But Adam Thielen, he was inactive.
DJ Moore. Yeah.
Oh, duh. Yeah, he was inactive 2 weeks ago.
That's on you because you're a Carolina fan.
That's true. Actually,
that's on you. All right.
DJM is still questionable, so we don't really have any definite answer yet. Just gotta wait.
All right.
But Adam Thielen inactive. I don't expect him to play. I expect him to miss another week.
All right. If Ty Hill plays, assume no Austin. Bench 2, Waddle. Oh, I know there's another one above this. Did you see that one, though?
Oh, no. Did I skip one?
Yeah. If Ty Hill plays, Tyreek Hill, assume no Austin. Austin Eckler. All right, okay. Bench 2, Waddle, Ty Hill, Javonte, and Justin Jackson. Bench 2. Okay.
Not start 2, but bench.
I mean, you're gonna have to probably bench. Out of those 4, you're probably going to bench Justin Jackson and Javonte Williams, which is shocking because I expect I like Waddle's matchup against PJ Williams, and I hope Waddle cooks PJ Williams for hitting my guy Chris Godwin in the kneecaps like that. And PJ Williams is very like an average corner. And obviously Ty Hill doesn't play. I like Javonte over Justin Jackson.
Okay.
Just because it's the Raiders.
I can see that. Normally I would go running backs always, but the receivers here are just too good. Too much volume, too much targets. I think they're more safe. So, but if Ty Hill doesn't play, yeah, I agree with Joey as well. Justin Jackson. Javonte.
Yeah. I love Justin Jackson too. That's a tough one, man. You have like a what do you call it? Like a embarrassment of riches if you have to make that kind of a decision. But it kind of sucks because you're potentially leaving a lot of points on the bench. So good luck to you on that, Justin.
Definitely.
Kid Jojo, if you have time, help a long-term
DK help. Yeah, okay. How much you charge, Joey?
Yeah, man, you might have to pay my Millie Maker entry fee for this one.
Oh,
oh no, you can help. Please have experts help. Okay, so just with the lineup in general, man, it's too early to. I will say this: it's a little early. I did a first look, like cash build. So, are you? Let me know in the chat. Are you familiar with like cash versus GPP? I went over it. It was close. It was close, wasn't it? 2 minutes to go in the game. My jabroni pick was looking very good, and then he broke off a 67-yarder. So don't give me that lip, Justin. I almost had that correct. No one in the industry would have done that.
And we mentioned it earlier. I don't know if you saw it.
All right.
Okay, he wants to make a lineup with you.
I mean, I could do one. Yeah. I mean, I have one ready for you. Actually, like I said, I always do. First look. Okay, I'll share this one. That's fine. I don't mind sharing this one because it's definitely going to change for one because it's so early. But I'll share this. I'm cool with it. My lineups. All right, it's shared now. Let me know when you're there.
So this is
Okay.
your DFS lineup.
Okay, so right now I have J. Rowe, Ronald Jones, Cooper Kupp, J. Jeff. I really want to go target high volume here with receivers, and I think with recent weeks, and obviously just with the type of caliber these two guys are, I'm getting a lot of targets here. I'm like anywhere from 7+. Cole Kmet's getting enough, but with tight end and defense, I don't pay up. I really don't. So I try to save money so I can roster guys like this. With the running back situation the way it is, MJ, of course I would like to have any of these big name guys, but I'm not too high on the price, especially with matchup going against Rams. It's a tough run defense. He can easily not hit value. My biggest decision is where to go at quarterback. And I told you I like Joe Burrow, but I hate leaving money on the table in a cash build. So I was going with Kirk Cousins just because of the stack, and you don't need to stack in cash games. But I do like the opportunity with Kirk Cousins to Jefferson. But when I was saying I do like this though, this looks nice. I can also pay a little bit more up either at tight end or at defense.
Like that.
And I don't have to stack in cash. Remember, like I don't have to beat the. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I'm sorry. I just saw this. Joey, please don't use Panthers.
Oh yeah, but again, Justin. So this for what this is about is, you don't have to beat everyone in a cash game. Like I just got to finish in the 50th percentile or above to cash, right? Yeah. So if this was a GPP, I probably change my defense up a little bit. That can create more pressure, but I'm not too worried about it. Again, this is a first look.
I think it's good enough. Like Panthers have a good
first
defense.
Look, guys. This is a first look. Yeah. This is not what I'm going to be probably setting out.
Plus, I see the Bucks. Yeah, the Bucks hurt on offense. I mean,
there's a path, right? There's a path.
And if he runs a starter, and then your target filled receivers, like no one's getting more targets than these guys right now.
Yeah, and the Jets have the worst run defense. This guy should get about 20+ touches. He's supposed to get most of the work, allegedly. So I'm waiting to see on that. And, of course, I don't like playing a Tampa Bay going against my defense. I wouldn't like that. But, again, in cash, it's not about that. Again, I don't have to beat the Bear. I just got to be faster than you in order to cash, right? I don't have to beat number one at the top to get all the money. The same money gets distributed from 50 percentile all the way to the top percentile. If I'm in a $25 double up, I still would get $50 if I finished in the 500th place. If this is a field of 1,000 people, if I finished number one, so it doesn't matter. It's all about just getting that floor with this type of build. I haven't done a GPP build yet, MJ, so I'm sorry I don't have that ready yet. I haven't looked through a lot of my notes yet. I usually do that towards the end of the week. Unfortunately, but this just kind of gets my ideas on paper, so to speak. So again, I put them in a couple double ups here to start the week, and I'll keep going from there.
Yeah, if to address this, if Goff doesn't play, are you still starting St. Brown? Oh man, I think he'll still be targeted. There'll be bad targets, but targets at the least. I think he downgrades to a flex rather than a wide receiver 2 or 3.
Yeah, in all honesty, I actually built that lineup on a Monday, so that actually was out before the Goff news. So I actually haven't touched it since, guys. So again, I only do something just to get my ideas on paper or on a screen, and then because I get prices and I start writing those down. I have notebooks full of week to week of plays. So I try. Man. I'm definitely not great. I'm getting better as a player. I'll say that. I'm becoming a better DFS player from years ago, where I was just throwing away my money. Now I'm starting to become a more conscientious.
He's rich, guys. He is rich from this fantasy stuff.
You saw my bankroll. It's not that much. I should have at least double to triple that by now.
All right, man.
But I appreciate the love, man. Appreciate it.
I think we left off somewhere on matches, but you want to get into our Goodfellas and
Yeah,
Jabronis?
we can. I know where we left off, but yeah, let's get to Goodfellas and Jabronis because we are. It's a little. We usually go to almost 90 minutes, so we have like 20 minutes left to where, and we're trying to jam pack 2 episodes into one. So here we go.
I think when we go into pickups, we can finish those last matchups if you
All right, let's do it.
like.
Go ahead with yours.
All right, so my first good fella is Gronkowski versus Carolina. We mentioned earlier the 2 top guys probably going to be Brown and Gronkowski. I could have put both of them here on Goodfellas, but I think Brown might see some Gilmore in this matchup. So not he'll do good, but not good enough as a good fella. So Gronkowski is definitely the top tight end this week. I mean, besides your top guys, he's a must start. I expect a great game over projection, which is actually 15 points. So I think he still gets over that slightly.
I agree. Gronk. I expect a Gronk spiker too this week. I like that one. I'm gonna go with Matt Stafford as my first good fella this week. Going against Minnesota. Weak secondary. But Matt Stafford's had some adversity, so this is not much a layup, and there's no such thing as a layup. Things could go awry because they are going on the road. West Coast teams going east. Sometimes they just forget what time zone they're in, so they're not fully awake going into the game. There's that narrative. But I just love his pass catching options against the secondary. It's just point blank period. And the game is close. The number is -3 Rams, so it's not expected to be a blowout. So I like the fact that it's close, which probably would prompt Matt Stafford to throw. And obviously he's got Cooper Kupp. So there you go.
Cooper Kupp. That's all you had to say.
There you go.
Miles Sanders is mine versus New York Giants. Talked about him earlier a little bit. Yards per carry is, I think, still 5 yards for all those seasons. So he's doing great. They're actually giving him the ball. It's a Philadelphia miracle. And he has a good matchup versus the New York Giants. So I don't see any reason why you want to start Miles Sanders. I wanted to tout him a little bit this week to make you guys confident starting in for this playoff run.
Miles Sanders.
Jabronis. Unless you have another good fella.
Oh, that was your jabroni?
No, that was my last good fella.
Oh yeah, no, I got a couple more for. I'm just writing it
down.
A
couple more for you guys. All right, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I got to catch up somehow, or at least save face with some of the
That's what you're doing, huh? You stick it in there.
Okay, I'm sorry. J-Row. I'm going to go to J-Row. I know you had him last week. I'm going to stick with him. Darrell Bevell, the new head coach, he tallied the rock 18 times for 75 yards and a touchdown last week, and he's got the Jets. He went from the Texans to the Jets. I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars have a very, very favorable playoff schedule. There's not many players to roster or play in the playoffs, but J-Row is one of them. So feel confident in that. I think Darrell Bevell actually promised a feature role for Robinson going forward. So I'm going to go believe the coach speak. And the Jets are amongst the worst, if not the worst, rush defense in the league. So J-Row, good fellow.
Yeah, that's a must start. I'm going to my jabronis now. I don't know how many good fellows Joey's has.
I got three. Sorry.
Okay. For my jabronis, Staphon Diggs. Yeah, it's a tough one, I know. When we mentioned it earlier, he's the top option by far right now in Buffalo. You already know what New England does on their defense, what Belichick does. So I think they're going to hyper focus on Diggs. He'll probably, his projection I think is 17, so it's a bit high for me. So I would say he gets over 10, but under 17. Well, it's like he's still startable. I'm just saying you must lower your expectations. Don't think he's going to win you the week. And put some high upside players next to him if you're starting.
He is going to see J.C. Jackson, right? So that is a tough matchup. Very tough matchup. And I love Gabe Davis, so I hope that works out. Jamar Chase is my third good fella here. He's going against Baltimore's obliterated secondary. No Marlon Humphrey, no Marcus Peters, obviously way early in the season. No Deshaun Elliott, one of their starting safeties. That was pretty early in the year as well. So I like Jamar Chase. I think he had a very down week. I was actually looking at his whole game log. I know he went 1 of 4 this past week for only 3 yards, guys. 3 yards this past week. I think he's going to go above that. One catch for 3 yards. Definitely.
Sure?
I'm pretty sure. The Broncos is a good team, good secondary. As I was alluding to for the Raiders matchup, but Chase is a little TD dependent, but I believe that this downfield threat that is Jamar Chase from Joe Burrow will connect. So thus making this a Jamar Chase week. Start him with confidence. That's my gut call for that.
Let's see if you catch up with that call.
Hopefully.
For me, for the Jabronis, I'm going the entire running backs for the Dolphins. Could have picked one, so I'm like, you know what, all of them. They're going against New Orleans. Very good run defense. We saw Duke Johnson get the bulk load of the carries, even with Gaskin being active. So that was surprising, but Duke Johnson actually did very well. He had 2 touchdowns, lots of carries, over 100 yards. So that was a bit surprising, and I don't think that carries through this matchup, definitely. Gaskin's not been good lately, so why start him? And then I think Malcolm Brown might be coming back, but I don't care. So, yeah, I don't think any of them over prediction.
I'm with you, man. Actually, Brian was touting Duke, and then he reneged like right before the game because I asked him, was like, "Are you in on Duke?" He goes, "No, I've been reading that it's Gaskin."
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, "Brian, you're killing me right now." I ended up playing Duke in a couple tournament lineups, and it paid off.
Oh, but, good. So you stuck with it.
Because here's the thing. It was the same reason why I wanted to play Sony Michel over D Hendo. Gaskin and that whole situation was the reason why. Gaskin and Ahmed were coming back from COVID. Their conditioning is not up. That's the reason why D Hendo didn't have a big workload. That's why Gaskin didn't. So I was shocked that Brian went back on his word on that one. But Brian's a little fearful himself.
He tends to do that.
He likes to say that we're the scared ones, but he's a little scared.
Yeah, he gets scared always last second.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go with a Miami Dolphin myself as my first Jabroni is Devonte Parker. Waddle's expected back. I like his matchup more than Devonte Parker's on the outside, where he'll likely see Marshawn Lattimore at least a few times because I don't know if he's a true shadow. And also the Saints defense is very scheme oriented. But when he's on that side of the field, I think that's a negative downgrade for him in his matchup. I love Jalen Waddle, and again, I alluded to it earlier. I hope he cooks PJ Williams for that hit on Chris Godwin. There you
go. You have another Jabroni, or
I do.
I do. Done.
Okay, so I got Antonio Gibson.
Brian gave us his. Did he?
Only thing he only gave us picks, which we're going to do that right after. Justin, hope you're ready. Antonio Gibson is my next Jabroni. I'm going against Dallas. They are like the underdog by 10.5 points. I think that's due to obviously the uncertainty at quarterback. But if that stays the same, if the quarterback situation doesn't change, and even if it does, Antonio Gibson's not on the field too much for passing work. I know J.D. McKissick is might still not be ready for this game, but they're not really going to Antonio Gibson out of the backfield. So if they're down by so many points, I don't expect him to be on the field. So I don't think he can hit projection. It's a gut call there.
No, it's definitely a good one.
If they get ahead by any means, if there's turnovers early by Dak, XYZ, Antonio Gibson's going to make me look like a fool. But I'm confident that Dallas takes care of business because they want to wrap this up and secure their spot. My last one is Najee Harris. I usually end with a bang, right? I went Jonathan Taylor last week. I'm going Najee Harris this week. They got Kansas City.
Don't let us down this week.
The only way I don't get this right is obviously if Najee has that like game where he had early in the year where he had like 12 catches, because he's on the field all the time. He could get a lot of volume, but I expect Kansas City's improved defense just to get pressure on Ben, where he just makes him look like the old man that he is, and just the volume is just it's not going to matter. So that's where I'm going with that one. I hope you guys can see the pathway there. I'm going to hit on some of these big names where not a lot of people are man enough to hit
one of them.
Right. I'm still above 50% on these Jabroni picks. So I'm going to maneuver my way.
Jabronis are on target.
There you go.
All right. They should get 2 points for that one.
I'll take
let's get into the pick'ems.
Let's do it, man. Justin, are you ready, man? MJ, if you're still here, I know you said it was late, so I'm not sure if you left. But MJ, you are welcome to do pick'ems with us. Justin, as always, you're also in.
Guess we got to go through these.
I didn't see those.
Pick'ems. Justin asked Foreman or Rojo. I'm going Foreman. I'm going. I think he talked me out of Rojo.
Rojo. No, damn. Damn, dude, that's tough. I'm gonna go Rojo just because if they're ahead on a Carolina team, that he should just milk the clock. And with the amount of injuries that they have, don't you think like they kind of want to get out of this game and just move on and shorten the game down?
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot of running for both teams, but
I'm gonna give Rojo a run here. I'll make this a paper bet for you.
Make a paper bet. Let's go.
All right,
We
I'll
got
do
two
that.
now.
Rojo, me. Who is it? For Deontay, and I love Deontay. You know that. I love Deontay. All right.
I say Brown or Waddle. That's a good question, but I'm going Waddle.
I'm going Waddle. Okay, well, that's not a paper bet. That's Waddle. Easy. Yeah. All right. I did go over a lineup. I'm not gonna. I can't make a new one yet. There's too much news that needs to go out to like. Yeah, there's too much news.
Thanks, MJ. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. All right, pick 'em. You have Brian's ready?
Yeah, I got it.
All right. I'll just throw out the matchups, and you just give me yours and Brian's picks, and we'll go from there.
All right.
All right. San Fran, Thursday Night Football. San Fran at Tennessee. San Fran favored by 3.
I'm taking San Fran. Brian is taking Titans.
Then I'm going to go San Fran because I need to catch up.
Nice.
Joey and Yosef.
Yeah, if I'm on the edge of one, I'm just going to take the opposite of Brian.
A lot of these I'm going to go opposite, even if I don't believe in it. I just need to catch up. I don't care what I'm just going to make it happen. Justin, MJ, again, you guys are in. If we don't see anything after a couple matchups, we'll just assume that you guys left. It's all good. Cleveland at Green Bay. Green Bay minus 7.5.
Green Bay. For me and Brian.
What does Brian have?
Green Bay.
I'm going Green Bay. All right. And Indy at Arizona. Arizona's favored by 1. Arizona's favored by 1.
Indy with the upset.
You're going to take that as your upset?
Yeah.
Even if that is an upset, dude, watch this. I almost guarantee that the betting market might change that by game time. So,
too bad. I'm betting on what it is now.
No, it's live bet, man. Whenever the game starts. Cool.
Brian has Cardinals though.
Oh, then I'm going Indy is with you, dude. Come on now. We're gonna ride this out together, Joseph. I mean, we have to. I'm going Indy as well.
Yeah, Brian win.
All right, Detroit at Atlanta, and Atlanta's favored by 6. We should have like NFL music in the background when we do this.
Dun, 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 dun.
Where's your soundboard?
Somewhere hidden. Dang, I should have brought that out. What the heck, man?
All good. Detroit at Atlanta. I'm going.
Brian has Detroit, so I am going Atlanta.
I don't want to go Detroit myself, dude.
Oh, no, I do think Atlanta will win.
Well, if Goff is out, yeah, I'm going to go Atlanta. So if Goff is truly on COVID, which it says he is, then I'm going Atlanta, and we can differentiate from Brian again. Yeah.
Good. You're going to catch up.
Balti at Cincy. Cincy minus 3. I'm going Cincinnati. I don't care if Lamar's active or not. I'm actually more scared if Snoop's playing.
Really? Wow.
The way he's playing, dude, is awesome, man. The guy is just wrecking.
Brian has the Bengals. I'm going Ravens.
You're going Ravens. I need to differentiate from you, too, so that's fine. I got to differentiate from you every now and then. The Rams at Minnesota. Rams are favored minus 3 on the road.
Brian has the Rams, so I have the Rams as well.
I'm also going to go Rams. Damn. This could be a trap spot. Again, West Coast teams going east. Do we want to do that? But they got Cooper Kupp. Yeah, I can't deny that matchup, even if Mike Zimmer is there. Matt Stafford knows the Vikings well, right? Plays Detroit a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna go Rams. Okay. Buffalo at New England, minus 2.5. New England. New England's favored.
Yeah, Brian has this as his upset. Bills over the Pats. I'm sticking with the Pats.
No Beasley, no Manny Sanders. Buffalo lost in a kind of a weird way, especially that snow game. I'd say they beat him on the road. I'm going to go
It
with
was like
Brian
that
on this
weird
one.
running game.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Brian on this, but that's his upset. That's fine. I at least will cut him in half if they end up winning. I'll find another upset that I kind of like here. I think. Hold on, let me look back here. The Jets are in the next one. Jets are actually favored by 1 point against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Jets are at
Wow,
home.
the Jets versus Jaguars. I didn't. Oh, that's terrible.
I'm actually going to go the Jacksonville Jaguars on this one.
I'm gonna go the Jets.
What does
I think the
Brian have?
Jaguars just.
What does Brian have?
He has Jaguars. That's why I'm going Jets.
All right, well, that's going to be my upset.
All right.
Robert Saleh is also tested positive for COVID. There's a chance that he's not playing, so their defensive signal caller might be in jeopardy there. So just thinking that as well. The Giants versus the Eagles. The Eagles are favored by 10. I am going Philadelphia, and I don't even have to hear about who's going where. That's just where I'm going.
Yeah, Philadelphia.
And Brian?
Philadelphia. Yep.
Okay. Tampa Bay at Carolina. Tampa Bay is favored by 10.5. That's crazy. They're favored by 10.5 without those weapons. That's saying something how bad Carolina is.
Yeah, Carolina's terrible. I'm going Tampa.
Brian?
Tampa.
Yeah, I can't go against you guys there. I'm not going to gain ground on that
Yeah,
one. I'd rather all of us lose if that's the case on that one. The Chargers at Houston. Chargers are favored by 9.5. I'm also going the Chargers here.
Yep, we're all going Chargers.
All right, that's an easy one. Chicago at Seattle. Seattle minus 6.5. I don't trust Russ, man. I'm gonna still believe in the kid that he's gonna put one of these together. This might be a rookie week, man. Don't be alarmed if rookie quarterbacks do well this week, like across the board. I'll go Chicago.
Who's at home?
Seattle, and they're favored by 6.5.
Yeah, I'm going Seattle.
And Brian?
Seattle.
Perfect. Yeah. Pittsburgh at Kansas City. Kansas City minus 7.5 at home. I'm going Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Oh, wait. They might not have Reek or Kelsey.
Kansas City.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, because you've seen Mahomes struggle with all of them on the field, too, right?
I know, but it's just like
TJ Watt. I know.
I think actually it'll be better for him because he can more just like scan the field instead of just looking for.
You know what? You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. I would love to see him like go through his progressions and actually get a lot more people involved. So you just talked me into playing Kansas City.
Let's do it.
Brian, too?
That's Kansas City, yeah.
All right, Denver at Las Vegas. And get this. The line is minus 0.5 point for Las Vegas.
What?
That's the live bet right now. That can definitely shift by game time.
Who are you going with?
Of course, I'm going with my squad if it's just like a pick'em game. I can't pick the ponies against us. But there's one thing about the Chiefs. The Chiefs are actually good when I went against them. But I am not picking against the Raiders against the ponies.
This is a tough one. Well, Brian went Raiders, so I'm going with the ponies.
You little pony son of a bee.
If Drew Lock gets it done.
Ugh, I can't. If we lose to Drew Lock, I might have to do something. That's bad. Washington football team at Dallas minus 10.5 Dallas. Sunday night football. We're almost done.
Well, Brian has Washington, so I'm going Dallas.
Oh hell yeah, let's do that. Oh my goodness, I love that.
He finally took a risky pick. It's like a miracle.
Wow, congrats, Brian. Miami at New Orleans. New Orleans is favored by 3, and I hope he took his team.
Speaking of risky, he took the Dolphins.
Oh my goodness, dude. We this might be the week where we catch up in a big way.
Yeah, I go New Orleans.
Yeah, me too. Jesus, man. Okay, I'm gonna count this. Let's do this. The opposite picks of Brian between me and me. 1, 2. Joey, Brian, Joseph. 3, 4. We got 4 only different. Like
What?
when you and I are together. Only when you and I are together.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot more that you are different with, like by yourself too. So there's that, and then I'm also different from you and Brian on a couple. So I'd say at least 6, maybe even 7, where we're differentiating completely
Nice.
from each other or just Brian in general. So that's pretty good. I like this week.
Oh, okay. We did the Thursday too. Awesome. All right.
That's it, man. And we still did 90 minutes and jam packed 2.
Hey, when Brian's on, we go longer than that for sure. He just blabbers and tells his jokes.
It's also the holiday, so I understand we didn't have much in the chat, but MJ, Justin, appreciate you guys stopping by. To everyone else, good luck this week. We will. So we're pretty much not going to have a Saturday show.
Yeah, we're not going to have Saturday. I think this covers
this
it.
This is an indication. This is on a Wednesday before the holiday. So,
and we have our Twitters, our social media. So if you guys need help or last minute decisions, find us there. And Joey will be updating on Twitter. Anything major happens. So look for updates on there as well. Make sure you follow.
Yeah, I will say I will probably even ask, like I'll even put out there, ask me anything, or just like ask your questions like Yosef's been doing on IG and TikTok and stuff. So I'll try to implement the same thing on Twitter, where if you guys have questions directly, you can just do it from there. But yeah.
All right. Signing off. See you later.
Week 16.